Kaboom. Kaboom. And transition, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Stevo. I am very confused and in pain, and you are listening to the Surrounded by Details podcast. And there's a few reasons why I say in pain and confused. I've been trying around to get this Skype going here, but unfortunately a little bit too late. I've been busy over the day, and this podcast recording has been quite spontaneous. We decided yesterday to invite the person that I'm going to talk to today, and of course I'm talking about nobody less than Anthony Floyd Brady, aka the biggest Metallica lover in the world. And to my left, as you can see here, Zazitorn Ruing Shinna sitting right there. There she is on her phone as always, and fresh out of the shower. That's why I had to turn out the lights a little bit, because it was a little bit too shiny here. However, before we start, as always, we are supported and brought to you by Nanox Nutrition's Unchain Your Limits. And in case you want to get the best out of you, make sure to put the best inside of you. And for that, you go on gateway.com and place your order, and make sure to enter the voucher code SBDGW10. I repeat, for your own safety, go on gateway.com in order to get your nutrition on and enter the voucher code SBDGW10. So that is done and set, and I think we can go straight into it. And I would like to call up Anthony Floyd Brady to bring him straight in to our discussion that we're gonna have today. And for that, I'm gonna use my phone and Skype. That is where the magic is gonna happen. And there we go. Give him a call, ching-a-ling. Bop, bop, bop. And as always, I have amazing graphics prepared here for you.
Hello?
And there we go, the Brady's on.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How are you?
I couldn't be better. How are you, my friend?
I'm confused and in pain. I just mentioned it to my audience.
Yeah? Tell me more about this pain.
Well, I fucked up my back this morning. That's why I have my hippie pants on, because I didn't move much today. And I have a tremendous back pain. So I'm quite happy to podcast, sit in a chair, and have a big bucket of water, of course. We wouldn't put anything.
Excellent. Sometimes it's good to be lazy and white trashy and sweatpants and just sitting down and doing nothing.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. What are you up to?
Exactly. I'm just sitting here getting ready to roll up an Indian tobacco thing, and then just having a nice conversation with my good buddy Steve.
That sounds awesome, man. I know you have been moving actually from apartment to the house, right?
Yeah, I moved from my house after its lease ran up to an apartment, and then I moved to a new house 2 months later.
Okay.
So I'm finally moved in.
Cool. Actually, just a second. I totally forgot. We need to share our live stream. Otherwise,
sure.
There is not much reason to do this.
Exactly. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let me check this real quick. Where I'm gonna use this? Where am I gonna do this? Share on Facebook channel. This is the channel. View on watch page. Zazitorn Ruing Shinna. Can I ask you to please go on your YouTube app? And the same for you, Anthony, by the way. You can go on your YouTube app on your phone, and you can share our link via the app. If I just take over Zazitorn Ruing Shinna's phone here real quick, and let me find the YouTube app. Where do we have it? Zazitorn Ruing Shinna doesn't have the YouTube app.
Hey, buddy, I'm having a hard time hearing you over that music.
Okay, just a second.
It's great music, don't get me wrong.
Is that better for you, sir?
That's much better. Now I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Meow, can you please go on YouTube, and Anthony as well? Can you do me a favor, because I'm using the phone for Skype, and you too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, Zazitorn Ruing Shinna is sharing the live stream here real quick. If I click this one, I can at least share the channel on my official Facebook page. I always panic, you know that?
It's part of being an artist. You know, if you're not panicking before you're doing what you're doing, then you're not really passionate about it.
That is 100% correct. But the problem is when you come into that period of deadline and stuff, it is hard to keep up with everything and doing all the social media.
But let me tell you something, Steve. We're in Thailand, land of zero deadlines.
That's true, but I'm German, brother. You know, for me.
Yes, and I'm American. But I'm in Thailand.
Yeah, you are actually in Khon Kaen. How's the weather up there? Just to.
Today it's nicer. It's been really raining a lot of storms.
Yeah, we had some rain here as well, and we're gonna see. We go on home, and then we Zazie Torn Wing Shin should. Can you do?
Did Zazie post the link yet?
No, not yet. We're just about to do that. You know what? I'm actually gonna hang up on you real quick and share the link over my phone because that is easier. Zazie Torn doesn't
no problem.
have
We
that.
can start from scratch when you call back. We haven't even really gotten anybody out there yet, so it's good.
Okay, I call you in 2 seconds, sir.
So good.
All right, brother. Later.
What a good start in the podcast. But as I mentioned, I had some back issues today. There was loads of stuff going on. Sometimes you forget things, and today it was hectic. It is tough when you do everything yourself. When you don't really have a production team on your side, it is tough to keep up with everything. I mean, we are only 2 people. We have to create the podcast. We have, to organize our guests, of course, and all this kind of stuff you have to do by yourself. And now I have to click on my phone by myself. We are live. There we go. Post. Ka-ching. Sometimes you just gotta keep calm and kaboom, Skype. And we should be back on track. The link is out there, ladies and gentlemen. It is on my private wall. Can you share it from there, please?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
I see you there. I see both you and Mew there.
Yes.
What's up, Meow?
Meow doesn't hear you because she doesn't have the headphones on.
Well, tell her I said hello.
Anthony said, "Go fuck yourself." I'm just.
Never.
I'm just joking. Okay, sir. I'm gonna copy that link, and then I'm gonna go back here on
I just posted it already.
Oh.
Perfect. You are a true professional, and I hope that the people out there have been a little bit patient with us and have been waiting for the live stream.
I'm sure they're gonna be fine with it.
Yeah. How's your crowd at home? Are they prepared for this? I mean, are they going up in the early morning, or how is this?
You mean are you talking about the people on the west coast of the States?
I'm talking to the people on the flip side in America.
Yeah, on the flip side, it's going to be a little early for most of them. I'm sure they won't catch it live. Maybe a couple people they've been asking about it, but most people here in Thailand and around here should be tuning in. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been looking forward to this podcast, or it didn't really give you any choice?
I've been waiting for this podcast interview since we tried to do it the first time and got a little bit too drunk.
Yeah, that sounds almost like our having sex for the first time. I was just about to say our first time having sex, but that would sound too gay, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah, no, but for the people who don't know, we actually recorded a episode a little while back, but unfortunately we were at the market. We had some good live music, a few beers, and then we had some good conversations. It
was fun.
That has to be said.
And then Mio brought out the rice whiskey. That was the
That was the end. Yeah, I remember that too. The rice whiskey. It's a big thing here in Southeast Asia. Again, for the people on the flip side who are not familiar with the life over here.
Lao Khao.
Lao Khao. That's
Sudyat.
Do you drink that on a regular basis, or how often do you get offered?
No, I love my liver too much to drink something like that all the time. I'll drink that on special occasions if I'm like in a random village, you know, and I meet some random people like eating on the portion they invite me to eat. then I'll have a couple shots out of just respect for them, you know.
Yeah.
But I try to avoid. I'm not much of a drinker, to tell you the truth.
I always wondered that, man. For you as a musician, I mean, you're out and playing a lot, especially on the weekends and stuff. You must, drink quite a bit. Not necessarily because you want to, but I can imagine people buy you a bunch of drinks.
Oh man, yeah. And they want it, and not only do they buy the drinks, they want you to take shots with them. They want you to party with them, and that's great. I mean, I'm the same way when I'm at concerts and meet, you know, bands that I like. But I just can't. I don't have the stomach to be able to drink that much, and I've just found out that I'm much better if I just turn it down, or if they buy me a drink, I'll pretend to take a shot and then I'll go give it to somebody else in the band or somebody else, you know.
or you just put it under the table to the dog as
no, I don't want to waste it. I mean, it's a generous thought, so I want to give it away to somebody that'll enjoy it, not somebody that'll get wasted.
That's good, man. And in Sweden, they would kill you if you waste alcohol because it's so expensive there. It's a shame to actually put that on the floor or somewhere else except your stomach.
Yeah, these days it's about $15 to $20 for a cocktail. Yeah, in the States or in Europe.
Oh fuck! I mean, in Norway and Sweden, which is even more expensive, or even Switzerland, I can imagine it's more, if not double. It's super expensive.
Crazy.
It's mostly because of the taxes in Scandinavia. I don't know how that works in the States. But it's mostly because of tax reasons in Scandinavia.
I'm not sure how it works in the States with alcohol, but I know they make bank off of us.
By the way, sir, I don't know your situation, but I know you can see me, and let me hold it here into the other side. Do you see my?
I can see you.
Yeah, can you see my awesome bucket here?
Your penguin cup right there?
Yes, it's a little delay in the video, so it will appear soon. I'm actually holding it into the camera.
I can see it clear. Perfectly. That's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. When was the last time you went to the movies?
I'm not a movie guy. You there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I'm not a movie guy. I go to theaters and I usually fall asleep in the middle of it.
Okay, that seems like wasted money.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I usually just wait till it's out and then download it and watch it.
Anthony, let's come down to business. I mean, small talk, all nice and flowy, but we have a few things to discuss. And before we get there, we need to start with the base, so my audience actually knows who you are and how we met and what are you doing on the podcast. I met you.
Absolutely.
I met you on a visa run from Thailand to Laos, and we had the same task. We had to redo our visa in Laos, and that's how I got to know you. And ever since, basically, we have been writing. You have been visiting Bangkok, and you played at my exhibition 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we hit it off. I met you at the Thai consulate in Vientiane, Laos.
Yeah, and we actually went to my old hostel I had in Laos.
Yeah, because we needed to share a taxi. I didn't want to spend one by myself, so we shared a taxi. You asked me if I had a hostel, and I said not yet, and you took me to the backpackers garden. It was awesome. Yeah,
man, that was my old place, and it was a great pleasure to actually show you the place where I once used to work and run the place. It changed a little bit, but we had a few beers. I know you actually went out. I don't really can recall what you did.
I ended up hanging out with a couple guys in the balcony of the hostel, and we were watching the thunderstorm.
The Wisdom Corner.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I created a Wisdom Corner, if there's anybody out there wondering. And in the Wisdom Corner, it was a place where you didn't have any social media, no laptop, basically just you, yourself, and a few people, and having a great conversation. This is where I developed my huge skills as a talk show host or as a podcast. Huge. It's huge.
That's a pretty good trump, man.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to build it in every episode.
I mean, for a German.
Yeah, for a German. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What did you actually do after that? Because I can't remember how we split up. I got my visa, I had a few beers, and then I basically hit it straight back to Thailand. Did you stay in Laos a little bit, or did you?
I stayed there for a little bit with a couple more of those guys you were with, and a couple of the girls. We were with like 4 or 5 people. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. They're really nice people, though. Yeah, and then I ended up going back to Thailand maybe 2 days later.
I actually didn't. The people you mentioned are all people I met along the way, and I can remember that I met Olivia there as well.
Yes, Olivia was there. Yeah.
Yeah, and she actually gave me my first work on Koh Tao. That's how I ended up on Koh Tao on the island. And
nice.
she hooked me up with a fishbowl bar, the most trashiest bar on Koh Tao. But yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. You got to dig through the trash to find the gold.
Do you have that as a musician a lot, that you have to prostitute yourself sometimes because you kind of need the money, or there's nothing else lined up?
I did that for a while, and to be honest, it just wasn't worth, the benefits weren't worth the struggle doing that. And how many times, and when you come to Thailand too, if I just go out, that's why I stopped playing acoustic solo and started a band. Every time I go out acoustic, I'm the farang in Thailand, so they scream out Country Roads or Hotel California or Holiday by Scorpions. Those are the three songs, and you just can't play those too much. You get so tired of them. I'm here to play you music. Just sit back and relax, and you know. I know if you want to play Country Roads, play Country Roads.
I know you are mostly known for your Metallica covers back in the States.
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good impression from you there, I have to say. Where did you start your music career? You're American, and you played obviously before you came to Asia. Tell me a little bit about your time before Asia, so we get a small introduction of who you are and how you ended up here.
All right, I grew up in a small town in Washington State called Mansfield. 300 people, a triangle-shaped town. Each side of the triangle was about a mile long.
Not the Golden Triangle, right?
Not the Golden Triangle. Okay. We're closer to that now, yeah. But it was a little wheat community and wheat farm. And then we just, I had a hard time in school, but then I found music probably around 5th grade. And then things started making sense for me, and I knew that music was the path that I would go, at least through junior high and high school, to have some sort of popularity, for as much as you can get being a band geek.
Yeah. Why did you have a rough time in school?
I was poor. I was a little bit weird, a bit of a freak. Went through multiple best friends, never had that one best buddy, moved around a lot, got into a lot of trouble, moved around a lot from school to school eventually.
Okay.
But then I found music outside of my senior year in high school, I believe. I started a small little hometown band. We just did a couple random covers and wrote a couple instrumental songs, basic guitar stuff. I taught myself how to play the guitar when I was probably 15 years old.
Okay.
And then, so I started a little band that felt nice. And then I ended up moving from my town to Portland, Oregon on the West Coast in the United States. And then the only thing on my mind was the guitar and hanging out and partying with my friends and meeting new people. So I just went out, and I always had my guitar with me everywhere. You could ask anybody that was with me at 10 years. I had my one guitar strapped to my back at all times, no matter where I was at. And I was playing it constantly. And then a few years later, that turned into me playing some music with one of my neighbors who had a little tiny recording studio in his home. Okay. And we made some really, really funny experimental music. And then I slowly went to a couple bands from there. And about 3 bands later, I kind of found a little bit about who I am musically, and started finding my own, and then took it really seriously and started joining bands and doing battle of the bands and playing little bar shows and stuff like that. But nothing's ever really
sorry to interrupt.
For me.
Sorry to interrupt you, because you said you started playing guitar when you were 15. That is actually quite late, because normally parents are putting their kids into music classes a little bit earlier than 15. Mostly like 9, 10, you start to find your instrument, and then you continue.
Yeah, we had a rough music program. The teacher was amazing. She's to this day my favorite teacher I've ever had.
Okay.
Not much of a budget and not much knowledge of the outside musical world, except for old school stuff. So I played the trumpet through high school, and then I worked my way into the drums, because that was the cool thing to do, to play for the pep band. So I'd just play music for the basketball games, and the drummers, we got a lot of attention. It was kind of nice, because it was rock and roll with a band, with a band with trumpets and stuff. But the drums got really annoying. I couldn't carry them around with my friends and play them, and so I started playing the guitar instead. I learned a couple Nirvana songs and stuff like that, and then I found the guitar was what what I wanted to do, and I took it from there.
Yeah, normally drum people, when I see drum people or drummers as they're normally called, I always think of there must be something weird, because it's always weird to see somebody with the drums because of the reasons you mentioned. It's hard to carry around, it's loud, so it's most likely the instruments your parents will not allow you. Take a flute or a trumpet or a guitar. Drums are always
it's a hassle.
It's a hassle indeed.
Yeah, and you can't play them during certain hours unless you've got a lot of money and buy an electric drum set where you can have headphones, but those are really expensive. Yeah, so I remember during the daytimes I would bring my drum set from school home and put it in my backyard. I lived by a big wheat field. I mean, just open sky. Not weed, WHEAT, wheat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I wish I'd be a much different person if I grew up on a weed field.
I think
probably a lot more relaxed.
I think we would all be a little bit different if we would grow up in a wheat field. How did you manage to get the drum set? I mean, it's quite big. I can't really see you carrying everything yourself at once.
No, a small town of 300 people. We just get the truck from a friend or from our parents or the teacher or whatever, and they just bring it up.
Get the truck over here. Got the drum set.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, we're rednecks. This is a small town. Pickup trucks and country music, overalls. Like they're legit good country Christians.
So how did you end up in Asia, man?
I mean, because I grew up in that fucking redneck part of the world and I couldn't stand it.
Okay, so instead of getting caught, it was actually the reason that pushed you out.
No, well, I mean, I moved to Portland after that, and I was when I was 18 years old, I moved to Portland, and that changed my life. I got to start all over, take away my past of being a freak and a nerd or whatever, and then I started this new life as this really friendly, outgoing, gets shit done. If there was a party to be started, I would hold the party, I would host it, I would put together big events, and not big events, but fun events with our friends and stuff, and then I became this whole different person. That actually turned me into who I am today, more outgoing and more just go-getter. I'm always the guy starting festivals and creating shows and jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, I went to Portland and had a good time, but it was so expensive there and didn't have much of an education at the time, and so I was working manual labor, moving furniture up and down stairs, flights of stairs. I did this for 12 years.
Damn it, talking about back problems.
Oh, dude, this is why I moved to Asia right here. About 12 years into it, I remember having three full-size pianos that I had to move up flights of stairs in 1 week.
That is crazy.
By the time I got to the third one, I was moving it up a flight of stairs, and I felt my lower lumbar disc, slip into my spine, and it was just the end of it. I was literally like crouched over for 2.5 weeks. I couldn't move out of like a golem form. Yeah, it was just brutal pain. The doctor said I could never work labor like that again, and I could be paralyzed. And I tried a couple other jobs that didn't work out.
What did you try?
I was a courier for a while for a medical company that delivered like blood samples from hospital to hospital. So I would I would use my car and I would go pick up. And I gotta say, I had some rough times where I actually ended up moving into my car for almost a year.
Oh shit!
And this is what I was doing. And it was a nice car. It was in like 2002 Subaru Outback. So I set it up where it was like I had a fold out back seat so I could turn it into a bed. I had a DVD player. It was nice, heated seats. It worked. Yeah. But yeah, I lived in this car, and then I'd wake up and I joined a gym so I could go shower, work out, then go into my car and deliver blood from hospital to hospital. In order to try to raise money to take my band to the next level, because I wanted to record some music. I wanted to record my album with one of my heroes. Yeah. And that cost a lot of money.
Of course.
So I couldn't do it. So I gave up after my back was broken for a while, and I sold all my shit, spun the globe, landed on Thailand basically, and a month later I was in Thailand with no plan, about 15,000 baht, and no idea what I was going to do.
That sounds like the good life. The reason why I left there for the career and for medical career was actually not because of the job. It's because I immediately came thinking of Scrubs, one of my favorite TV shows, and they have a scene in there where they have a vagina transplant and they urgently need a vagina to replace it, and I just had to think of that scene. No, but career work is actually quite fun, man. I used to work as a bike courier in Gothenburg and a few other places. that was always my exit plan. So whenever I didn't have photo work back in the days, Korea was my fallback job, because I always knew, okay, I can always bike from place A to place B, and Germans like to do things 100% correct and fast. So why not become a courier?
Yeah, but being from Germany, you also have a lot of options to go from country to country.
That's true. It's easier to go from Sweden to Germany than from America to somewhere else. I mean, you can always go to Mexico.
Even Canada. We can go to Mexico, but it's easier said than done. It costs a lot of money. Even to take a bus, a shitty bus, a Greyhound bus, costs you like 1,000 baht to go an hour and a half ride.
You mean 1,000 US?
No, 1,000 baht.
Okay,
so like $30.
Okay,
it's like $30 just to go an hour. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's unaffordable. And you know, when you're paying half, or if not more than half of your salary on rent, you know, then you just don't have the option to go do that. Yeah. So I took a love to camping, because I just ended up spending a bunch of money on gear and then going out and spending time in the woods, because it's beautiful out there and it's cheap. If you have all the gear, it's cheap to go out and spend 5 days in nature and just reinvent yourself. It's beautiful.
Have you ever heard Homes on Wheels and Mini Homes? It's a YouTube channel, or several YouTube channels, where they exactly do that, what you just mentioned. People live in their car and they reconstruct them, and it becomes really livable. I mean, this is a kind of lifestyle that is getting more and more accepted, because people realize that it's just too much shit going on in the cities. I mean, especially in the States, you have the trailer parks. Not only the hillbilly trailer parks, we talk proper trailer parks where people actually can live properly in their trailers.
Yeah. Meth-free trailer parks.
Meth-free trailer parks. I like that you put a little point on meth-free there.
There's some nice trailers, and you go to campgrounds full of trailers. It's just nice old people and families doing their thing. Dude, you know, hooking up. It's nice.
Yeah, my parents do the same thing. I mean, they have their little caravan and they go out and drive. They still have their regular jobs in their house, but they are out more and more. And they actually lived in their trailer or caravan for 2 years when they worked in Norway. But it's different there, because there it's very, very cold. It's easier when you are on a hotspot like Asia, for example. I know camping.
Sure.
Camping in general becomes bigger and bigger in Korea and Thailand. I mean,
but camping in Thailand is a whole different game. I'm scared to go camping in the jungle. I don't know enough about the stuff going on out there.
That's true, because here you can really have a fucking elephant right next to you, or
a cobra, or a scorpion, or a tiger. I mean, it's crazy. Like it makes Oz look like a Barbie house. It's crazy.
Yeah, we complain on a high level. That's true. I remember that I was afraid a little bit of going camping in Sweden when I was younger, because it was really dark, and then you have like big animals like a moose, and I had a moose passing behind me just a couple of meters when I was young, walking home from the school bus. And you can
those are beasts,
dude. You can feel that shit. It's the same as professional horses. I don't mean being a professional horse, I mean a professional athlete horse. I don't know what you call that in English. But you can feel that in the ground. So I was a little nervous. Let's call it nervous. But here,
like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, imagine Australia, man, where you have even more shit going on. I mean, 8 out of the 10 deadliest animals live in Australia.
I love every Australian I've ever met, and I really want to go there. But at the same time, fuck that place, man. It is crazy dangerous.
But I also think it gets easier if you grow up in the country itself.
Sure. Or if you just go there and, and don't be an idiot and hang out with the people from there, and don't go out in the middle of the desert alone and try to fight a kangaroo, you'll be fine.
Just don't be a cunt.
Just don't be a cunt. Oh my God, that's the number one rule in life.
Exactly. I just recently posted it on social media related to something else. But in general, just try to be nice. Don't be a cunt. And if you happen to be a cunt, then at least learn from it and don't be a continuously cunt.
Don't be a cunt, a continuous
cunt.
It's awesome. Yeah, that's right. Solid advice.
You mentioned before that you were kind of, shy and freak. You were a little bit weird, kind of a loner when you were younger. And nowadays you play music in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people, and you also have your own English teaching program where you have to interact with a lot of people, especially parents and kids. How does that work out for you nowadays?
I gotta say, the teaching has kind of brought my music to a whole new level. I've had so much more confidence now that I'm dealing with 20 to 100 students, looking at me. The spotlight's literally just on me. I don't have a guitar or a band to hide behind.
Do you get nervous?
So now, every time.
Oh,
every
shit.
time.
Mhm.
I have like little panic attacks before every show. Before every class, however, I feel completely comfortable now. But that took a couple years. But I've been playing live music shows for, I don't know, 10 years. And every show, whether it's 2 people or 800 people, I am the same panic, nervous.
Why do you think is that? Why don't you get rid of that? I mean, you must have. I believe in repetition. As more you do something, as better you get at it. So
I believe that too. I'm a big fan of repetition in certain aspects, but for me, this just means that I care about what I'm about to go do. It means the world to me. So if I'm not nervous, it's because I'm too relaxed and I'm too confident, and I should never be too confident if I want to go put on the best show of my life. So, and that's what I want to do every time, and it's not always the case, but I still go out there thinking that this is going to be the one.
Yeah, you should always put yourself together, no matter what kind of show you play. A few days back, I had Spring 4C here in the studio, a Bangkok-based band, and we had the same discussion. You always have to motivate yourself somehow, no matter how big the crowd is or not, in order to improve. Because if you just go out there and be lazy and say it's only 3 people anyway, then you shouldn't go out there at all, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is those 3 people are there, and their attention's going to be on you because there's only 3 people. So you should actually do better for them than you would for 200 that are on their phones. Because that's what it's like in a big show now. Everybody's on their phones recording you, waiting to watch you later.
Yeah, isn't that irritating for you when you go to when you play a live gig and you see people basically just looking through their phone or holding up the phone? Or
I don't mind it, man. Record a song, take a few pictures, but look up for 3/4 of the show at least. You're missing out on something that is powerful, man. Babies have been made in concerts. It's powerful stuff.
I wish babies have been made on my podcast one day.
One day could happen, man. You play the Rat soundtrack. Maybe I'll play your opening music, and that might just happen.
Well, I tried to still to convince you to act as my studio band, but you are up there north and I'm here in Bangkok, so we have to find a solution in between. I think we definitely do. We should start a petition for Anthony for studio band, and then we have as many people as possible signing that paper, and we make it happen. Anthony,
Let's do it.
I have to pass on the same question as I asked Spring 4C. Sorry for that. But do you have this feeling that athletes get when they have a bad performance? They go home and, shit, I lost the game today because of me, because of this stupid mistake. I mean, how long do you, or are you angry at yourself if you don't perform as you wish?
Oh, man, you have no idea. I usually have somebody record my shows on my phone or their phone or whatever and then send it to me. And 99.9999% of it never gets seen by anybody but myself, where I can sit in my house, watch it, learn from my mistakes, and call myself a piece of shit for a little bit and then get over it.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. If you're a perfectionist, Steve, the same way that you look at your photos, you ever see something that you posted on One Championship? I haven't seen anything, but have you seen something you posted on One Championship that probably only you can figure out, that you're so pissed that you let it slip?
Well, I don't send out those images normally. I mean, sometimes the client is asking for quantity, and then of course I send out a few pictures that I'm not 100% happy with, and of course I don't put them on my website. But it's exactly like your album or my portfolio. We try to put the best on the record or on the website. I think a lot of people always forget, no matter if it comes to music, photography, writing, or whatever it is, that everything or most of what we do is always great. But I think a lot of people forget how many tries and hours and blood, sweat, and tears are in between each of these best ones. You know what I mean?
Speaking of repetitive, man, I mean, that's exactly right. The thing is to take that, and playing live is different because you can't depend on that repetitiveness to be there every time, because you don't have time to edit it or wait, But yeah, when I make a recording, it's just, one song. I'm working on an electric album now, and one of the songs I'm recording now, I've heard this song probably 300 times, and it's a 3-minute song. I'm just listening for the littlest things that nobody's probably going to notice, but that's just a part of it.
Perfection is in the detail, my friend.
Absolutely. Yeah. What other people don't notice is better than what they would notice if it was there. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like,
It's always better to go the extra mile instead of sitting in your office and then say, ah, shit, I should have. It's the same with life, man. You don't want to sit.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't want to sit there with 60 and say, I should have fucking tried this and that. And then life is over. You should just do it. And sometimes, even if it is not pleasant, you should go the extra mile and just make it happen in order to get it out of the way, man.
If you care about anything and you're not willing to go the extra mile, you don't care about it. You know, that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. So I can see a little German in you.
There might very well be, man. I'm an American mutt. I have no idea my heritage at all.
Well, you are from somewhere. I mean, Americans are most likely known for, coming from everywhere. Have you ever been interested in looking for your roots and family?
Yeah, I am, and now it seems to be easier than before. So I definitely like to check it out. Before that, I've not really cared. I don't know why. Probably because I'm American and I've not experienced culture in a way that I've seen in my entire life until I moved to Thailand. Now I want to know more about my culture.
Yeah. How has your traveling influenced your view on your own country as an American, if I may ask? I mean, especially now considering Donald Trump. I don't want to get too deep into politics.
To be honest, I love my country as a physical place. It's fucking beautiful. One of the most beautiful places in the world. Everywhere you go, there are beautiful things to be seen. So many good people there. So many closed-minded people there. So many religious people there. That are all still good people. They're just so sheepish. But I've always thought this. I've always felt this way, which is why a lot of my music is based on that kind of stuff. But coming to Thailand made me realize one thing. It was about Americans and it's about myself as well. We are loud and obnoxious more than anyone else in the world.
Well, that depends on. I mean, as I said, I've been running a hostel, and you have been there, and you have experienced that more than enough traveling by yourself as well. There are different cultures, and if you travel quite for a while, you start to set cliches on certain nationalities. And as you say, Americans are wild and loud, but so are the Aussies and so are the Irish people, because Irish people, they basically just scream and drink. That's all they do. Sometimes they eat, sometimes they sleep.
And that's the thing, is like we have our downfalls. The one thing I can think now that I forgot to say is Americans complain a lot. And I used to be such a bad complainer, and I catch myself doing it every now and again now. But Thailand has taught me just to let it go.
Yeah, I'm still working on that, man.
Me too, man. It's hard to do, but this country, it lives by that. And if you can either go with it, or you can just drive yourself nuts trying to figure out why they do it.
Yeah, well, I'm on the second option there. I drive myself nuts and trying to figure out why they do it, because sometimes I just don't get it in my head. I actually recently read an article about the most ignorant countries in the world, and surprise, surprise, Thailand was on that list, but it was behind the States. I think Thailand was on 6 or 7 and the States were on 3 or 2, shortly behind India. I can't really remember who was the most ignorant country in the world. Any guess?
Maybe Middle East.
Middle East, could be. Maybe we have to do some research. I need to find that article again. Maybe Zaziton Ruing Shinda can look that up on Google. She's busy on her social media and listening while you talk. But she didn't want to take the mic itself, so she is just listening for the moment. But Anthony, let's get back to it. Traveling. How has traveling influenced your music and teaching influenced your music? Because you mentioned before that it brought your stuff to a whole new level. Please explain yourself.
Well, okay. Well, when I was in, not to sound emo or anything like that.
Too late.
The reality of it, when I was too late, right? Not to sound emo, man, but no, when all of my music, and I'm very proud of it, the stuff that I've written the past 10 years has been me when I'm around my new family, my best friends in Portland, Spokane, and people like that. But I was always really just a little bit angry and sad. So my music is it's all in minor key. So it's all kind of dark and powerful, but depressing a little bit. I found that when I moved to Thailand, I started writing happier, more sunshiny music.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because you write your mood. When you write, I'm like right now I'm writing this electric album, and when I write it, I literally am writing it and recording it I'm writing it while I record it. I'm making it up, just feeling whatever I'm playing instruments and just trying to whatever I feel I start to play. And every mood that I'm in, you play. I mean, if you're in a shitty mood, you're gonna play not shitty music, but
but music is what feeling sounds like.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. But yeah, I've written a lot of happier music in Thailand, but I still, I'm a rock fan. I'm a rock metal fan, and that music is dark. It's powerful and it's uplifting for people like me. But it does put people that listen to pop music in a negative vibe, and I can understand why people don't all like it.
Yeah, but that's normal because you're constantly surrounded by yourself by that forced happiness that you hear in the radio in the morning, and it just
but I'm no happier than I've ever been when I'm at one of my favorite rock band shows listening to dark music. I am so much happier than I could ever imagine being. But people that listen to reggae, they go get there and they'd be like, oh man, this is depressing, this is scary, this is whatever.
Yeah, you can see the Britney Spears fans in the back of the crowd shooting themselves.
Imagine Britney Spears at a Pantera concert.
Dude, she's actually coming to Bangkok later this year.
Oh, it's glad to see she's getting something back. She went through a little bit of a crisis a while ago, it looks like, huh?
Well, I know for a fact that the Scorpions are huge here in Thailand and in Asia, and maybe Britney Spears belongs to these kind of artists that have their second wind in Asia 10 years later, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of which, why Scorpions? I mean, don't get me wrong. I grew up with Scorpions and I love that band. But why are Thailand people so infatuated by the Scorpions, particularly the song Holiday?
I have no idea, man. I actually, last year in October, one of the security guards of one championship offered me 2 tickets to Scorpions because, he couldn't go. And I don't know why that is, man. It just seems to be one thing here that, I don't know, man. It's some things happen for no reason. And I think...
But I mean, if it was a hit song like Rock You Like a Hurricane...
Yeah. What's your favorite Scorpion track?
The Wind of Change. I mean, goddamn it, that's such a beautiful song. It's such a I know it's so cliche, but it's such a beautiful song. And I cannot whistle into a microphone. I can't figure out how they can do that. It sounds so beautiful.
Yeah, the dude who actually does this, he's quite known in Germany for his whistling skills.
Yeah, I'm sure those guys are nothing short of genius musicians, man. They're on a whole different level musically.
Yeah,
Thailand's like 30 years behind. Why weren't they into it 20 years ago?
I have no idea, man. The only reason that, or the only thing that I dislike with the Scorpions is that they have said we're gonna retire a couple of times and then they always come back. And if there's something that I don't like, it's when athletes or musicians or, especially in MMA say we retire and then a year later they come back. I mean, this is pretty much a good proof of that you can't really be happy without what you are doing. You haven't really figured out what else you are if you constantly need to go back to what you already did. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is George St. Pierre needs to get the hell back home and go back to bed.
Smart transition here, my friend. You try to go into the UFC, but I refuse. Not yet, because there's many things we haven't talked about when it comes to your music, man. And I don't know about you, but I got a big bucket of, water. So yeah, I have all the time in the world, and I really want to find out about your new band and your new single, which I'm gonna play after the video. We're gonna attach it. I haven't really figured out the technical part of it, but we make it happen somehow. Tell me about your band Eratoca, because it's a
Eratoca.
Okay, excusez-moi. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just showing it out.
How the name and why mixing with Thai? Explain yourself.
Well, like I said, I played here for 2 years. 1 year I played almost 7 nights a week, live acoustic, solo or with other random solo acoustic Thai people. But it's just so many requests to play other songs that I didn't want to play, and I didn't. Once you play with a rock band and you go back to playing acoustic, I'm gonna be blunt. It's like starting off with masturbation and then having sex and then having to go back to masturbation. It's just
sucks.
Not the same.
It sucks.
You know. So, and there's always a time and place for playing solo, if you will. But
is that a pun intended or?
Yeah, totally. But it's not as powerful, man. When I play with a band behind me, I feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I mean, absolutely, it's the most powerful feeling I've ever felt in my life.
It's that group feeling, huh?
I mean, I don't know. It's group for sure. Every musician that I play in a band with and play live with, I have a family connection with for life. There's no doubt about it. But all of my bands have been bands that have played and learned my songs. So I'm more of a lead guy, and not to sound cocky, it's not what it's about, because all of my music, it wouldn't sound good without these bands. Like, I played it solo and it's boring. With these bands individually, whether it's my rock band So Many Roads, that's like really heavy kind of rock metal stuff, or it's my old friend who's a violinist for an orchestra in Oregon. They bring something to the table that I cannot ever bring, and it really puts the icing on the cake. So I need them, and I love them, and I respect them. But it's also something that all these songs are my babies. These are my release. This is who I am. This is my getting everything out there. So when I play a show with a big band and it's complete, it's a release. It's the biggest release ever, and it does feel like a big group thing, but it also feels more like a fuck you to everybody who didn't believe me, and thank you to everybody who did. You know.
I think that was something that James Brown was very good at, because if you are really a leading person for the band, for your music, the band, and I don't want to sound like a dick, but I know it's gonna sound like a dick, but your band members kind of become the tools for you, because you don't necessarily know how to play the drums or the horns, but you know what you want, and you need to find the best tools in order to get the best work done. So I can totally understand that you need a leader in the band.
And here's the thing about that, and this is what I've been learning as I've hit my late 20s, early 30s. I realized that a band is a team, and you have to let everybody have their own addition. They have to all enjoy it. You know what I mean? And when you work together building something like this, it's so personal that you have to walk on glass with it, because this is why bands break up. There's a lot of people releasing their passion together, and if you trip that in any way, if you're young, you don't understand that could really hurt somebody.
Oh yeah, man. It's like thin glass. Like, you have to treat it carefully, and if you break it, it's hard to repair. I can totally understand it, because it's something very personal.
Once you start skating, it becomes this beautiful dance, right?
Yeah, okay, I can follow. For me, it's complicated, because if I would be in your position, for example, to lead a band, I'm a big believer of too many cooks in the kitchen ruin the soup. You know, so I'm somebody who likes to work alone. I have no problem working in a team, but I need to be in charge. But I can guarantee you a more 100% satisfaction with the outcome of the work if I do it by myself, because I myself know myself the best. No matter how much I trust somebody else, it will never be 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel you 100%. And this was me in my 20s, and I went through some really good bands, and I lost them because I was too stuck on it. It has to be done my way. Now, what I did with that is I've started playing that electric music, and I can do that all by myself, and I can get it all out in a way that I've never been able to do before. And then with my rock music, something that I cannot do alone. Some people can, but they're very few and far between, like Mike Patton or my buddy Jordan, who's a freaking genius. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I can. Where was I going here? Sorry.
You were talking about being a team player, or being doing stuff by yourself.
Yeah. So if you do solo work, That's great. But if you want to do something bigger and make more connections and actually grow as a person, surround yourself with people who are better than you, and then you will do nothing but get better.
That depends on what you do. I mean, if you play chess, for example, with somebody who is way better than you, you will probably never learn. In chess, it's kind of, you need to find somebody on the same level and develop together. But
now, I don't play a lot of chess, but I gotta say I disagree with that, because even with chess, if you're playing with a master, you're going to learn those moves eventually. You might not ever be able to beat him.
No,
but
because
3 months into it, you could play somebody else that's not quite as good but way better than you were, and you could smash them because you've been playing with the best.
Not,
and it causes you to become better without even noticing it.
Yeah, but this is where we have a huge problem in society. Sometimes it doesn't help only to copy moves, in that case, of the master. You need to understand them, and to learn the understanding and behind the moves and how they think ahead and how many moves they think ahead. It's not that easy. That's why you need somebody on the same level or only a little bit better, so you actually can make those steps of understanding. It's the same thing if I give you the complete biography of Albert Einstein and give you 5 minutes to learn it. You will not necessarily know why certain things happen and why they are like they are. You need a little bit more time.
Well, you can't learn anything in 5 minutes. I mean, nothing.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Not unless you're Rain Man.
I was making an example here, my friend. And while I was making this example, I was actually looking for links. There we go. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, talking about music and being by yourself and doing your own thing, I actually watched a music documentary, so a little bit of a switch here. But have you ever heard of the documentary RESTRUNG?
No.
I have to send you the link, man. I was watching that the other day, and it is about a guy, animator from Disney. He worked with Disney for many, many years, and at some point he just thought, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be part of a big movie and work in a huge, massive team. I actually want to take all the money I have, and I want to start doing bass guitars. So that's basically what he does. He starts to create bass guitars, and from zero to hero, now he makes guitars all the way for B.B. King or other big artists.
No,
and
that's
it's a tremendous, a huge biography, documentary.
Huge.
Yeah.
No, and that's fantastic. But let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Without to respectfully curve you a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
without that Disney money, would he have had A, the connections, or B, the financial way to get to where he got?
Yes, that's why you have to watch the documentary. And sorry for the spoiler alert, but he actually started doing bass guitars already when he was a teen, when he was 12, 13.
Okay.
You know, in school when you have the wood classes and you have to build things, he decided to build guitars. And he made, as he mentioned in the documentary, I believe between 10 and 15 guitars a year when he was 17 or 18. So please make sure to check that documentary out. It's
absolutely
good music.
Called RESTRUNG.
RESTRUNG. I will put the link in the description below, awesome. Just as I do with all your links, because I know your music can be found everywhere, on Instagram, on Facebook. Where can we find your music? Bandcamp?
Yeah, I've got some bands, depending on the band you're looking for. Recently with my Eratoca stuff, it's just mostly Facebook and YouTube. But you can YouTube Eratoca, Eratoca, and you'll come up with our band.
Nice. And are you still having contact to your old bands in America, by the way?
Yeah, actually, I'm still planning on, and this is my ninth symphony, if you will. I'm trying to do my solo album. I've been trying to do this for like 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I basically, all the bands that I've been playing with, I'm picking a bunch of my favorite people that I've ever jammed with and adding them in little parts onto my album. Mm-hmm. So I'm constantly in contact with them, and like I said, all of the people that I played music for or music with, they're family for life, and I'm always following them and talking to them and catching up as much as I can. Yeah. Yeah, it's important. So
why does it take you so long
to do the album?
Yeah,
because this is my baby, and I am just not ready yet, and I should be ready, but I think I keep without knowing it, I keep making excuses to not do it, even though I really want to do it.
That's a dangerous path, brother.
I'm afraid of failing, though. You know what I mean? This is the one thing that I want. If I release this album, I could die the next day happy. This is how important this album is.
Yeah, but I mean, if as long as it works for you and as long as you are happy, it shouldn't matter to you what other people think. So why are you afraid of failure?
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's about releasing it and having it be something really good. No constructive criticism on it, just people just being like, wow, this is beautiful.
Okay,
that's what I want.
Okay, I see. So you basically not afraid of other people not liking it. You're more afraid of releasing it, and then a week later you say, oh shit, I should have changed that. I should have changed that.
Because they don't really, they want to find something and they don't understand how much that actually hurts you. You know what I mean? To do that, because they don't understand how much work it goes into. Like you said, how much time do you spend making a 4-minute video? You know, takes hours upon hours to make a 4-minute video. You know, and that's how it's the same thing with the song. For me, it takes longer because I'm not a professional, classically trained guy, so I can't do everything perfectly at first. I have to do it over and over until I get it right. And then I'm a perfectionist, so sometimes I over listen to it until I need somebody else to just listen to it and give me an honest opinion and say, what do I need to do here? Because I'm too deep into it.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. I normally go out, I just have a break, I don't know, I grab a book or I do something else. I try to go out, walk to the park or whatever. What is it that you do when you have those moments? Do you have to leave your studio, or you still remain in the same environment in order to keep the same vibe?
I usually have to go roll a joint, and that's as far as I'll go on that.
Hey, how dare you? We don't do drugs here on that podcast.
And that's not a drug, it's a joint. Just a little piece of paper with some Indian tobacco in it.
Hey, dude, and talking about weed and joints, this is the perfect switch, and sorry from getting from emotional straight into the UFC, but dude, we had some regulations here. I still don't think that weed should be on a list as performance enhancement drug. I don't know. Sorry for the.
Robin Williams said it best in his stand-up special live on Broadway, and don't quote me on it. It's not word for word, but he basically said you can't like marijuana cannot make you be better at what you do. It unless a guy that won gold skiing downhill was chasing a chocolate bar after he smoked it and trying to get that chocolate bar really, you know what I mean? And that's Robin Williams said it way funnier than I could. But I mean, that's the fact. It doesn't enhance you in any way. It enhances the situation you're in. It's more fun to watch a movie if you're there. It's probably, I know Joe Rogan talks about he likes to smoke a joint and go do jujitsu. Yeah. And he can focus more, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't enhance you. It's not steroids, which I also think should be legal. But that's a whole different conversation. Yeah. But it's not steroids. It's not the same thing. It's like you may as well fucking drink orange juice and call that an enhancement. Yeah. You know, it gives you that morning perk. It's just ridiculous. And the fact that people are getting, you know, busted, like Nick Diaz got so screwed because of that. And it's horrible, man.
Yeah, it seems so unnecessary. I mean, like, talk about looking for trouble, because this is literally shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear, the conversation with Anthony Floyd Brady goes from left to right, from up to down, and all the way back. We are switching.
This is an ADD conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. So talking about MMA, let me pull up the UFC card here, nothing else. I always feel weird when I say let me pull up. I don't know.
I've got it here too. I pulled it up before the interview.
What are you talking about? The MMA card, the UFC 211 card, or
the fight card?
Okay. Yeah. For the people who are sitting at home, let me show you my awesome, the best motion graphics we have on the planet here. Transition, ka-ching, and there we go. There we have the fight card, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I kind of skipped the very early prelims because I know you and me, we're gonna watch them, but my knowledge doesn't reach that far. So let's start with the FX prelims, and I have to say my biggest surprise here is from hero to zero, Eddie Alvarez. Boom! What happened? What happened? He got knocked out. That's what happened.
He knocked him so far back that he landed in the fucking prelims, man.
It's so true, man. I feel so sorry for that dude. I recently read an interview, I think it's only a few days old, where he actually mentioned that there is some sort of freedom in having your worst nightmare becoming true. And I can see that, man. I mean, what else can happen to that guy now?
You know, here's the thing. Eddie Alvarez, he just ran into the wrong machine at the wrong time. Yeah. Like, Alvarez is a fucking badass, and anybody who thinks any less than that is they've got their eyes closed. Because same thing with Aldo. I hate Aldo as a person, but he lost one fight, and everybody lost respect for him, myself included. But these guys are both really amazing fighters, and they just got to be given the right opportunities. But they got to give them soon, because they're all getting older, and this new age fighters are coming up fast. Mickey Gall, Sage Northcutt,
CM Punk. Sorry,
CM Punk, man.
Yeah.
It blows my mind, and it doesn't. I mean, I'm not surprised at all that Dana White's like getting ready to offer him another shot in the UFC. He's not out of the UFC yet.
No, but I totally agree with the whole generation thing. I mean, the sports evolves constantly, and when I see people like Georges St-Pierre now realizing that too, I think that is one of the main reasons why he is not come back early, because he realizes he really needs to step up his game, even if it's just a year or 2 or 3 that you're off. Time goes fast, man, and especially in
man,
MMA.
and this is a fast game. You have like 4 years of your prime between like 27 and 31. Like that's it. That's your shit. That's where you've got the knowledge, the strength, and not a slip disc. Yeah. You know, look what happened to Anderson Silva. He was in this prime. He tore it up. And then he fought Weidman, had a bad kick, broke his fucking leg, and he's never been the same ever again.
Yeah, you think? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, talking about Anderson Silva, man, what do you think about him lately? I mean, he plays the whole power game with the UFC, and to be honest, man, the UFC has become too big where they just don't give a shit anymore, no matter if you're Anderson Silva.
UFC doesn't know what they're doing, man. They got rid of all the right people, and
yeah,
they brought in all the people that don't know anything about MMA. They are what the boxing crowd calls newbies.
Yeah,
or casuals. Sorry, they call them casuals.
Yeah, but it's entertainment, man, and this is how this is how it works in the fight business. You don't necessarily need fighters in order to make an interesting event. You just need to present it right. Especially
the problem is it's turning into the WWE.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because people are still watching it, man. It's like porn. Yes, everybody's disgusted, but still people watch it.
You're absolutely right, and that's the problem. The problem is that because that's what it takes to get people to watch, but it's taking away from what the sport really is. Here's a perfect example. The ranking system in the UFC has gone all wacky. Yeah. What the hell? It doesn't matter who you're ranked or where you're ranked. It doesn't matter. If you're number 1, you're not going to fight the champ. Who's the guy I just recently saw? I can't remember. I've seen so many fights lately. This guy came in. He wasn't ranked at all, and he fought number 8, and he beat him.
I can't really remember. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who it was either, but the guy that was ranked number 8, he had everything to lose and nothing to gain out of this. Nothing to gain. If he beat a non-ranked guy being number 8, what's that going to do for him?
Yeah, but why did he accept the fight in the first place?
Because he probably needed money, because these kind of people aren't getting the right advertisement. You know, they're not given. The UFC has their superstars, and they're giving them that. And this is coming from a Conor McGregor fan. What I think Conor McGregor is a genius. He's changed the game in all the right directions. But he's special. Not everybody else should get all these opportunities. I don't think that. Well, look at Michael Bisping. He was turning down Yoel Romero to fight GSP, and that's fucking stupid. Fuck that.
Well, no, it depends on what you do. As you say before, people in that kind of sport don't always have the right advertisement or make the right amount of money. And especially Michael Bisping, man, has been missing out for many years. So of course he goes for the Georges St-Pierre fight.
Listen, I
don't blame him for that.
I get why Bisping did it, and I get why Georges St-Pierre is doing it. But what does that do to poor Yoel? That poor steroid-using cheating bastard is sitting there like, why did I work my way up to number 1 if nobody's paying attention to me? The fact of the matter is, why have a ranking system if you're not going to use it? Just take it away. If you're not going to use it, take it away. WWF or WWE doesn't have a ranking system. If you want to be the WWE, make billions of dollars, then go do that. And then we'll find another league. We'll watch Bellator, because Bellator is coming up strong.
Oh yeah, man, Bellator is really coming up strong. But talking about other promotions, man, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Yusuf, the Silverback Weber, man. He had, I don't know if you heard about that, but there has been a new promotion having their first event in Korea called Battlefield Fighting Championship. And their fighters, or most of the fighters, still haven't get paid yet. So there's huge issues going on. And yeah, not only that, also the event included probably the biggest upset, and I mean that in a very negative way, because of the most stupidest referee decision in MMA history. If you haven't seen it yet, man, find it on YouTube. It's let me check here for you. It's Yusuf Weber versus Macaco José Patino, and yeah, he got submitted, but he didn't really get submitted. He was just resting there for a few seconds in order to get to the break, and there was nothing really dangerous going on. Several people have been resharing the fight, and and have been complaining. And today was finally the day. Yusuf has been fighting for a couple of days and weeks in order to get this turned over to a no contest. Now it is finally time. So happy for my boy, the Desert Force lightweight champ. Recently hanged out with him.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Hanging out with him in Bali. I was there over the weekend working with some MMA stuff. And you know when you have a really, really good UFC card and it's the weekend before and you're so excited that you wish that it could be the weekend already?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I had the very same feeling because the card that is happening it's a big card, and we were talking about Alvarez versus Poirier there. And before we continue to the main card, do you actually have another fight that you think I sleep on that I haven't mentioned here from the FX prelims?
There's in the prelims. The prelims or the early prelims?
We're talking about the FX prelims, not the super early.
Yeah. I mean, there's really. Knight is a pretty good fighter, but really there's nothing there that's going to be something super. The fights are probably going to be great. The prelims usually are fantastic, but there's nothing that I know enough about to really be excited about. Besides Poirier. Poirier is one of my favorite fighters in the world. I fucking love this guy, man.
But that's just great. Because he's in the highlight reel now forever because of his cage kick.
Dude, he has been one of my favorites since I started watching 5 years ago. I've always loved this guy's style of fight. I love his heart. I love his attitude. He's got this small town mind. I connect with him in a way that I feel like he comes from the same place that I do. And I love his heart. I know he's not on the best winning streak, but he is a badass, man. He shows you don't have to be a champion to be a badass,
That's true, but if you are not the champion and you are badass, then you are not the baddest ass of the badasses.
Listen, I am so far from the best musician in the world, but I will never stop playing that fucking guitar.
That's true. Okay, I can see your point, and I guess it's time for me to shut up at some point when you realize.
No, not at all, man. I'm just saying that this guy fights because he loves it, and I respect that. It's like Nate Diaz. Yeah,
but in the fight sport, man, can you really do that? Because
that's what fighting sport is supposed to get your aggression out in a safe, healthy way.
If you love in fighting, we only talk about fighting because it's a different scenario. It's not like you are gonna die when you play your guitar until you're 75. You know what I mean?
Well, Diamond, freaking, what's his name from Pantera got shot on stage.
Okay,
he got shot. Marine shot him with a shotgun on stage. Steve, this is serious stuff. I play here. This is like going to war when I break my guitar on stage.
Sorry for underestimating your art. I really apologize. Let's move on here to the main card, my friend.
All right. So the main card we got.
Wait.
Pettis got canceled.
Yeah, let's start with that. I'm super happy because if I would have to mention the fighter that I like the least in the whole wide world and maybe even the universe, that would be Cejudo. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this guy's boring. He sucks to watch on The Ultimate Fighter. He's just such a boring guy. He's a boring fighter. Even if as a professional fighter, I would not be scared of that guy on the street. He's just like a little goofy little elf. I'm not excited about this fight. But Sergio Pettis, on the other hand, is a badass, and he's stepping out of his brother's shadow, which is not easy to do in fame.
Dude, this is why I'm so upset that this fight is actually canceled, because if he wins this, he would probably receive a title shot next.
Yeah, but listen, he's going to have that shot because he's in the spotlight right now, man. He stepped out of his shell. He showed the UFC that he's got what it takes. And he is a part of that new age fighter, and he is part of the future. And I don't know, man. At that weight class, he has an opportunity to be a champion in 2 years.
In 2 years, that would have been my next question. Do you really believe that he would have he would be capable of actually beating Mighty Mouse?
He's no Garbrandt.
That's true. That's your boy.
He's my boy, and I called it from how long ago?
A very long time ago, and I'm just picking my nose, not picking my nose, my eye. Sorry, in order to just jump over this subject because I'm not a Lolo fan, man. Credits to him for doing what he did within a year. I don't like him
as a person. He's a big dumb animal, but he is a fucking brilliant fighter, and I've seen that from the start. His power is surreal, and his footwork has always been there, but nobody's paid attention to it until the Mighty Mouse or the Cruz fight. And he showed it with it was so fun to laugh at all you people after that fight. because he did exactly. I didn't expect him to do that. Don't get me wrong. I expected him to knock him out in a couple rounds, not dance around and clown him like he was a Diaz brother. He schooled Cruz.
Oh yes,
he out-Cruz Cruz. It was beautiful, and it was so nice to be able to. That was my one, because I'm a new guy to the UFC. I'm 5 years in. I've got friends. Like, shout out to my boy Dan. That guy right there. He brought me into the world of fighting. He is like a classic boxer fan, old school UFC, like Pride fights where it was like sumo wrestler versus karate, like old school stuff, and he knows all that stuff. He got me really big into this stuff. But once I saw Garbrandt, I was like, all right, this is where I'm starting to understand the sport. I call this guy. This guy's next. He's coming up soon. That was what, 4 fights ago? That was before he fought, what's his name, the Brazilian that was undefeated, 21-0.
Can't remember second names, but he did all he did in a year, man. That was crazy. 1
year was more than Conor McGregor did.
Yeah, man.
And that's saying a lot, because Conor McGregor has 2 amazing years on his resume now.
Yeah, and you hear how quiet I am, because I know, man, you called it, and to the very last moment, I held on to Cruz, because he's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC.
Me too, man. He's amazing.
But as you say, man, there's a new breed, and I think Garbrandt is the best example for exactly that, for that new breed, and I think he's going to be up there for a while. I don't think Dillashaw will have the tools to actually beat him, because...
he's with a team that studied Cruz for 10 years.
Yeah. No, but also in general, I can't see anybody there that would be capable of actually beating No Love if he performs like he did against Cruz. Not even Cruz.
In my opinion, there's nobody in 2 weight classes that can beat him. 125 or 135. Sorry, no, 135 or 145.
Okay.
155. I think that he has a goddamn good chance against Conor McGregor. I really do. Now that being said, I would put my money on Conor McGregor, but
I'm not racist, but
I would not be surprised if No Love knocks him out for real.
I don't think that would happen though. But my question here is, you mentioned 45 and 155. What about if he goes down and fights Mighty Mouse?
He would destroy Mighty Mouse, because Cruz destroyed Mighty Mouse.
But Mighty Mouse also developed as a fighter.
Sure he did, but he's also never fought anybody worth fucking calling a championship. Like, I love Mighty Mouse. He is not the pound for pound best in the world, because look at the roster of the fighters that he's fought. They're nobodies. You know who's good? Any welterweight, okay? Any lightweight. Those guys fought real people. 145 even. Jesus Christ, the card on 145 pounds is insane right now. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, you know, when Aldo's not even in the top 3, where's Aldo now?
I don't know. Hopefully gone.
Hashtag Max. What's his name?
Max Hollowell.
Hashtag where's Aldo?
yeah, that's too funny, man. I can't wait. He's gonna destroy Aldo, man. But we're drifting off here. We have to kind of stick to 211. I mean, what are we gonna talk about?
Let's go. Okay. So Cejudo Perez is done. Yeah. We got Frankie Edgar and Rodriguez.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I put my money on Rodriguez.
I gotta say you're probably right. Now, Frankie Edgar has been one of those guys that's been like a silent assassin for the last 3 or 4 years, and he just kind of snuck up on us. But he's a fighter's fighter, you know. All the fighters respect him.
Yeah, I think I think he still belongs to the old kind of guard. You know what I mean? While Rodriguez is already the new generation, and again,
I think that Edgar's a little bit younger. I think he's like a generation before Faber, which puts him right in the middle.
Okay,
so he's got a chance. Edgar is a fucking badass, man.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is what I'm talking about. This is the weight class where they're fighting people that are real. Mighty Mouse has never fought anybody even remotely on his level. It's because he can't go up a weight.
Yeah.
He can't. He'd be too small in 145.
Yeah, I hear that. He's already small ways.
Yeah, so he's not pound for pound the best. I'm sorry he's not. McGregor is probably pound for pound the best right now. I mean, before I would say that, honestly, what's his name? Anderson Silva he's the best fighter of all time, like the greatest of all time. The one true GOAT is Anderson Silva.
You really think so?
Dude, look at the people that he fought and how he just destroyed them. He did what Mighty Mouse did to real fighters, not just like barely professional fighters.
That's true. I agree, and he's entertaining as well.
Look what he did to fucking Rich Franklin. Rich Franklin was the fucking king, the cream of the crop. I remember watching his fights, man. He was amazing. And Anderson came by and just took him. He took him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rich.
Yeah,
You're awesome.
I have to break here real quick because I have to explain to the audience that you most likely cry while you say this because you are a Rich Franklin fan, and
yeah, big time,
dude. And there was no easy fight to watch if you are a Rich Franklin fan. That is true. I remember that. But yeah, I guess there will always be somebody, or at least there will always be somebody coming who will beat you or who will be better than you. That makes the whole
so beautiful about sports.
Exactly. That's exactly my point of the whole sentence. And talking about people who are better than the previous champ brings us to the next fight. Maia versus Masvidal. Now that is a badass fight, man.
Man, I'm looking forward to this fight because Damian Maia is in the older generation, but he's coming in hot right now.
Yeah, and he's probably one of the best jiu-jitsu players in the UFC right now.
Yes, he's pretty much unbeatable to a certain extent. Now, isn't he the favorite in this fight?
I actually didn't watch the odds because I
have to look at that.
Yeah.
But Masvidal, on the other hand, is one of my top 5 favorite fighters currently fighting on the roster.
I like him, man. He's psycho.
Have you seen his street fights when he had long dreads and he was fighting on the streets, like with the people that fought Kimbo Slice?
No, I didn't even know about this.
He comes from the streets, Steve. He comes from the streets. He's a real fighter, not an octagon runner, not a cage jumper. He's a fucking fighter. Okay, Masvidal is the real deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I actually I have to say, man, I really feel like we are commentating on a TV station or something when you call me by my first name. Yes, Anthony, I agree. What about your thoughts, Anthony?
Thanks, Joe. Back to you.
Right back at you, Anthony. Lovely to talk to you. Exactly. No, I didn't know this about Masvidal. You know how the age difference between those two?
I don't know the exact age, but pulling it out of my ass, I'm going to say Maia is probably a good 7 years older.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, quite obvious that Maia's older. I was just wondering how much.
Because he is in that older generation. He is in his 40s. And Masvidal, I think, is in his early 30s, 33, 34. And that's for him coming from a street fight, which means he's got a serious heart and serious balls. More street fighters, I'm sorry, have more balls than any cage fighter could ever imagine. 100%.
I totally agree, man. And this is why this is why I like Masvidal a lot, because he has that weird psycho thing in his brain. And I think no matter how hard you train, how many fights you have behind you, if you really come across a psycho, that is when you just know. When you look him into the eyes, you just know. And I think that's the same thing that happened to Alvarez with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is just a fucking crazy dude on a certain level.
He is crazy,
so,
man. He is.
It's the same with Masvidal.
I hated him so much in the beginning, but he has earned my love. I love that man now.
No, man, I kind of have to love him because he's the reason why I really got deep shit into MMA.
Listen, this is what he did for 90% of the world watching MMA right now. You're right. He did that exact same thing. And him and Ronda Rousey.
That's true, but again, Ronda Rousey, I don't know, man.
Hit a brick wall.
She hit a brick wall, and for that I have absolutely no respect. Because if you know, if you can behave as a top player, you should be able to behave if you're not on the top, if you're on the bottom, man. That's when
she's a. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I lost all my respect for her, because this showed me that she is just an arrogant bitch with, I don't know, if there might be, I can understand going that way as well. Sorry.
Don't say bitch like it's a bad thing, because she's a badass bitch.
Yeah, I mean that in a good way. I mean that in a good way.
But no, totally. But here's the thing about her. Listen, she's not a good role model. She came in starting it because she was an Olympic bronze or silver medalist or something like that, which is amazing. I mean, you got to give her props for that. But she also came in the beginning when, once again, the competition wasn't there. She had nobody to compete with her. Now, put her against our co-headliner, Joanna.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? A different weight class. What's going to happen if you put Ronda Rousey against Joanna?
Yeah, I have not really any idea. These are the kinds of fights that you don't really know because they would never happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying that you do know what would happen. Joanna would fucking whoop her ass in a heartbeat because she's a next level Matrix fighter. And the new level of fighters that are coming in right now, there's probably about 3 or 4 female fighters in the league that are monsters and would really destroy people. Cyborg being one of them. And Ronda Rousey just came in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, but again, I like that. I like that kind of matchup, Ruzi versus Jacek here, because Jacek is our next fight that we're going to talk about. But again, even if it's different generations, they are so completely different of their styles. Because you have Ronda Rousey, who is a judo practitioner, and then you have Jacek, who is a Muay Thai fighter. I mean, if Ruzi gets hold of Jacek, this could end really bad for the Polish champion. But we also know, we have seen Ronda Rousey in her latest fight. It was really, really shaky, and she would probably
2 fights.
Yeah, 2 fights. She would probably not come that close to Jacek in the first place.
Do you want my opinion on this? Because I've got a big one.
Not really. I'm just joking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so how about them Bulls? No, so here's the thing. Joanna, I can never say her last name, Jacek or something. Some awesome Polish. I can't say it. I cannot get it. But she is pound for pound the best female fighter, next to Cyborg. Now, I'm not saying under. I'm saying next to, right, line for line with Cyborg. Joanna is the top 2. They're both the same best fighters in the world that's ever reached. Ronda Rousey was basically like Royce Gracie, okay? Royce Gracie came in the UFC years ago, right? And what did he do? He came in with that Gracie jiu-jitsu that nobody had ever seen before and had no idea what to do with, so he destroyed everybody because they had no defense on it, right? Ronda Rousey did the same thing because she had a bunch of new fighters coming in and fighting her, and she could take them down and get them to submit in a round or 2. And it was really fun to watch. Yeah. But people started to figure it out, right? You know who figured it out first? Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate came out there and lasted 5 rounds with her. She wasn't as good as a fighter, but she had a way bigger fucking heart. And she lasted 5 rounds with her.
That's true.
But now Joanna has proven that she can grapple, she can wrestle, she can do jiu-jitsu, she can knock you out. Yeah. She's the ultimate 5-point ultimate fighter. She has every skill possible to defeat everybody in the female UFC world. Everybody. She can beat everybody. I'm not saying that she would beat Cyborg, but she could. She could definitely beat Cyborg. 50-50.
It's tricky, man. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen the preview of the UFC 211?
I haven't. I've been wanting to watch the what do they call them? The little mini series.
Embedded.
Embedded, yeah. I haven't watched them this yet. I've been really busy.
Have you watched the long one, the 44-minute promo video?
I haven't really caught up anything on this except for the fight card. I need to do that tomorrow.
You have to, my friend. You have to.
Yeah.
And one thing 100%. That got mentioned in there is that Joanna has a weak chin, and that brings me to her fight now because
she fought Claudia. She does not have a weak chin. Claudia fucking knocked her back a few times.
I know, but still, I mean, we haven't really seen her taking a proper big hit or 2, you know? I mean, she got kind of hit in her last fight, but what's gonna happen if she really has the pressure on with somebody who goes after her? Because that is what didn't happen the last time, that people went after her. Now, with a Brazilian dude or chick, sorry, looks like a dude, but actually a chick. Sorry for being hashtag feminist.
Andrade is amazing.
She's strong
as a bull. She's very strong.
Yeah.
But so is Joanna. Joanna is very underrated. She's one of those champions that just doesn't. She has Woodley respect, but has way more talent and is way more humble than Woodley.
But still, she always needs a round or 2. She needs I said she always needs a round or 2 in order to speed it up, and I think this is very dangerous.
That's part of the game. It's a 5-round game, a 3-round game. 2 rounds that's all she needs.
But I don't think that is a very wise or smart idea to do. What's her name? I actually have to go closer. Andrade, because she's just a bulldog, man. I mean, she will come at you.
She is. And she's going to get her on the ground. But I honestly think that Joanna is going to out grapple her. Yeah, and she's way quicker. She's got that Mayweather hop, you know. She's really quick on her feet. She's really fast, and even her jabs are really powerful. And she slowly takes you apart like Aldo, just punch by punch, kick by kick. And I think she's going to do the same thing with Andrade. Andrade is probably going to get her to the ground once or twice, and I think then Joanna's going to figure out how she works, and then she's going to stop that takedown. Because if it's anything she's good at doing is stopping takedowns. She's done it. She's shown it many times. She can stop a takedown from some of the best. So when she fought Claudia, I can't remember her last name, but that fight, the number 2 against the number 2 fighter in the league, the Brazilian. She's Brazilian, man. She's Brazilian. Yeah. She's Brazilian. She's fought that style before, and she outmastered it without a problem.
Yeah, but this is definitely the fight which I'm most nervous about, especially in the first 1.5, 2 rounds. I would like Joanna to win, and I would bet my money on her as well, but I'm still a little bit nervous, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I'm cool with anybody winning this because Joanna's had her time. She's proven that she's just the best in the league. And this is the new age, and this girl is young, and she does have the potential. I don't know enough about her to say that she doesn't. She looks strong from the videos that I've seen on her, and I've seen quite a few.
She's
quick. Strong. She's really thick.
Not thick, quick.
She's small though.
Okay.
She's thick too. Sure, she's really thick. She's got thick calves, thick arms. She's strong. She's really strong, like a little mini bull. Yeah. But she's still a mini bull. She's not a bull. And Joanna she's got size. She's got reach. She's got the skill, she's got the confidence, and she's got the how many belts, how many defenses?
I have no idea, but a bunch of them.
I think over 5. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but she's got it. She's proven it, man. She's the best. And listen, give it up for Andrade if she does it. But I'd say 80% Joanna wins.
But that would probably would be the biggest upset of Andrade if she wins against Joanna of the card, definitely.
Oh, man, of course. Any loss, she's never lost before. So you got to understand, making an undefeated person defeated makes them invincible, like makes them like real. It takes away your invincibility. You're scared. You have that fear when you walk in the ring. When Ronda Rousey used to walk in the ring, she was scary. She wasn't the greatest, but we didn't know that she was scary. Yeah. When Conor McGregor walks in the ring now, love him or hate him, it's intense.
Oh yeah,
it's fucking intense. Very intense. It gives me goosebumps every time that guy walks down the fucking aisle. It's crazy. Yeah.
Do you think
I love it?
Do you think fighters in general get a little extra boner in their pants if they beat somebody who has not been beaten before?
Well, they can't because it's on TV and they'd be real embarrassed. But there have been people that have shit. There's been people that have shit their pants.
Oh yeah, and vomit. I saw that.
The big black guy. What's the big black guy that does the Superman thing after he wins?
I don't know. You keep asking me about names.
I can't remember his name. He's so good right now.
That's what she said.
He won a couple of good fights recently, and he got called out because he's getting famous that he shit his pants in the middle of one of his fights.
Oh man,
it happens, man.
Yeah,
it happens. I mean, think about it, dude. You don't always have time to take a dump before you get hit in the liver. You know, it just happens to you.
Oh shit, there was a little bit left inside of me. Yeah,
exactly.
Talking about having things left inside of you, how much motivation do you think does somebody as Dos Santos has have left in himself to beat Miocic for a second time? I can't imagine.
Listen,
it will be huge because now he knows he's fighting a person that he already beat once, and this time he will be able to take the title. How likely is that?
Well, I mean, if you check the Vegas odds, I couldn't tell you. For me, he's older. He does have the confidence, and he is one of the best in the world. And all respect to this man. But he's older. And Miocic is, Jesus Christ, this guy is insane, man. His power is through the roof, Superman power. And I think he's got a good 6 or 7 years on Dos Anjos. He's fighting for his city, man. Cleveland is his place. You know, it's very important for him, and I think that Dos Anjos is trying to finish his legacy that he's already built. No matter what, if he loses or wins, he's still Dos Anjos, and he's one of the best that's ever been. He's Hall of Famer, or will be if he's not already. But I'm 70% Miocic on this, man. The guy is something that I don't think anybody can beat. The way he took out Verdum, and you know who was the last person that took Verdum? Or I'm sorry, who did Verdum beat before this to get the belt? Do you remember?
Verdum beat Cain
Velasquez, exactly.
Yeah.
The best fighter in that weight class by far, one of the best in the world.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's true.
And if anybody could beat Miocic, it would be Cain. But
I would like to see that happen. But
but the way that Miocic took out Verdum, I don't know, man. I'd give that one a 50-50. But Dos Anjos, Miocic, 70-30. I'm going for Miocic on this. I'd put my money on him.
I don't know who I would put my money on, because I kind of agree with what you say, and I also think Miocic learned a lot from this loss against Dos Santos. And even though Dos Santos is very quick and very fast, and he might still be in his age that he has now, I think that he is still a little bit less than Miocic. And dude, in these kind of areas where we talk top sports, top athletes, the tiniest little difference can make the difference. And I think this is what's going to decide the fight. Even though, let me finish here, please. I think it will go 5 rounds. I don't see a knockout happening, because I think that, you know, as it always is, we had this with Wonderboy and Woodley. There is a certain amount of respect. You are not as loose as you are in the first fight when you just bang and having a good session. I think this time there will be a little bit more respect, knowing, okay, this guy can put me to sleep at any time.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. And, you know, I mean, he hasn't fought in a year either. So that says a lot too. But I just don't, if I had to put my money on it, and not my heart, my brain, if I had to feed my family with this bet, I would put my money on Miocic.
Okay, well, if you have to feed a family, a good advice is not to gamble in general.
Sure. And I don't have a family, so that's good advice. Don't have a family, you don't have to pay for them.
Kaboom! Problem solved, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
And that is basically the whole card of the UFC 211. For me personally, I think one, if not the heaviest, best stacked card of 2017. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, 2017, absolutely, but it's got a long way to go to 2016.
Oh, yes. Asking about time in 2016 and time in 2017. I know a few things have changed for you. As we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, you have moved from apartment to your house, and something that came along with your house, you little bastard, is a huge ass projector with a cinema screen. So I guess you're gonna sit at home and watch this fight at home.
Yeah, I can see you life size right now, you skinny, tall German bastard. I can see you like you're right in front of me.
I'm huge. I'm massive.
You are.
No, but is this how you're gonna spend the UFC 211, or what are you gonna do?
Well, sadly but happily, it's good news, bad news thing. I work 7 days a week. I'm putting a lot of effort into my school. I've got 2 jobs now. So on my UFC Sundays, or Sundays here in Thailand, Sunday mornings I'm teaching, but I do have it on the projector in my classroom on mute, so I'm watching it while I'm teaching.
I'm gonna send you text message.
You totally can, man. You totally can.
No, I'm just joking.
And I've got plenty. It's a little kids class, man. We're just working on little things here and there, and playing games and coloring and stuff. So
how old are they?
Can be distracted. 3 to 4.
I mean, they don't understand what's going on there on the big screen. Put on the UFC.
I'm not giving them the SATs, man. They just want to play. So,
and then you leave them with their parents, and they start hitting their parents and choke their parents and see what you have done. This is how I am with my nephews. Where every time I meet my sister, which is luckily, I'm just joking, not so often, because she's living in Germany, but she has a bunch of kids, and every time I see the whole family, I teach all of them stupid tricks that I shouldn't teach them, but it's fun because I can give them away, you know. I don't have
examples.
I don't have to correct the mistakes.
Give me an example of these tricks.
I'm teaching one of my nephews head spin while 3 years old on grass, which is not the smartest idea, because the body turns, but the neck doesn't really turn as fast as the body. So,
well, here's the thing about little kids. Little kids are like rubber bands. You can just bend them around, stretch them. They're fine. It's once they hit, their 20s, then you start breaking.
Yeah, or like in my case, being 30 and having huge back issues. This is why I enjoy talking to you, because it keeps me in the seat. I don't need to stand up and feel old, you know?
No, I literally feel your pain, Steve. I want
to keep going and never make this ending. By the way, I need to bring your picture back here. So the people know who we are talking to, and we are talking to, there we go, Anthony Floyd Brady.
I like that picture right behind you better. That's a nice little painting.
Which one?
The one behind you, of that one you photographed and photoshopped into that lady with the crazy trippy stuff around her.
Well, that's both of them. This is
yes, you're right. No, the one with the smirky look.
Ah, okay, yeah, that is Valentina Memchevich. In case you want to look that lady up, she's a German chick, and yeah, we had.
Wait, no, the other one, Yeah, right here. Yeah, the white one.
This one.
Yeah, I like both of them a lot. But the white one was sticking out to me because it's bigger and right in the center of the screen. However, I like this other one too. She's really enchanting.
Yeah, that's Annabelle.
She looks really intense. Like she's got something going on.
You know what the funny thing is about that photo? Not necessarily about the painting, but the original of the photo. I met this woman in a beach bar in Berlin, and I had the same feeling as you. So I just went up to her and I was talking to her a little bit because she was talking to a person from the club I knew. So I kind of, made a smooth transition there from saying hello to my friend and talking to her, and she mentioned that she does photo jobs, and I asked her if she would be interested to have a look on my website and then just send me a message in case she wants to work with me. And that was the case. We met up, we organized a studio, which happened to be one of her friend's studio, and then when the day came, the guy was not there, the studio was closed, and we just said fuck it. Instead of complaining, we're just gonna make the best out of it. And we started shooting in the hallway, in where you go up the stairs to the different levels, and just made the best out of it. And it turned out to be one of my favorite female portraits I've ever taken.
Yeah, it's beautiful. On the spot art, man. They're both really beautiful paintings. I absolutely love their shots. What are they? They're photographs with paintings over the top of them?
Yes, it's paintings, and shout out on their behalf to the two painters in Phuket who actually turned these photographs into paintings. Really talented, really fast, professional. There is more coming, I can guarantee you that. There's a few things going on. We're gonna change a few things up, add a few things with the podcast studio, many things going on at the moment. And I'm looking forward. It's good times, man. There's a good fight card coming up. There's good times coming up. There is rainy season coming up. Mosquitoes. Oh shit, that went sideways.
That's one
fast.
Worthless thing.
Went from.
If we could get rid of anything in the world, and I've seen something on this. They said that if we could get rid of, anything you get rid of, it has an effect on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Scientists have not found that for mosquitoes.
Really?
So we could, for what we know, we could literally destroy all these little pieces of shit, and nothing would change except for we would be happier.
That is such a good plan. I mean, that is the reason why I never say we should kill this animal, because of that reason, that everything has a purpose here. But
it's not an animal, it's an alien demon.
Fuck that shit, let's kill it. And do you actually know that mosquitoes, or more than half of the population, or half of the people who ever lived, actually died of mosquitoes or malaria?
Yeah. Absolutely, malaria. And now we got dengue fever, which is scary as shit living in Thailand.
But dude, dengue fever has been around for a while, so it's nothing new,
Yeah, but it's still scary because you think that it's the flu. And I don't know about you, but I've had the flu for the last 10 years, and I've never gone to the doctor. I just waited it out.
Yeah,
and that's
same
how
with
you
me.
die with dengue.
Yeah, it's the same with me. Here, you kind of roughen things out, and it's a guy thing,
Yeah, we don't need no fucking doctor, man.
Who the fuck needs a doctor, man? I can twist my back out myself.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? Dude, that was the think comment he ever did. And there's actually a t-shirt with him, and he is...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he killed Mayweather on that shirt, and the headline of that t-shirt says, who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy? You know what's funny about that quote? That's the quote that got Jeremy Stevens famous.
Yeah?
That no-name motherfucker. The fact that I know this idiot's name...
Is because of that press conference.
Because of him having the balls to call out Conor McGregor and then just getting publicly shamed.
Yeah, but that was probably his plan too.
Yeah, but he got publicly shamed. He didn't really get famous in a good way. He's not positive famous. Nobody really likes him.
That's true. And talking about
but he is a good fighter. Yeah. He is a good fighter.
Talking about dude, my English is coming to an end here. What was your biggest shame moment on stage? Has there ever been something like that, or would you not like to bring that up again?
I peed my pants at a spelling bee once.
How old were you?
I think I was 14, man.
And what have you learned from that?
Lose. I was winning. I didn't want to learn. I didn't want to lose.
You know that thing between happy tears and sad tears? Maybe it's the same with your pee.
Yeah, totally. My tears went sad south.
Happy pee and sad pee.
Yeah, yellow tears. It was quite embarrassing. I remember just sitting in a puddle of my own piss and being 14, having to sit on the bus alone. Mom was really disappointed, but listen, listen, you got to choose your battles. And I didn't win that spelling bee because I was just a little bit too uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I'll never forget how to spell mayonnaise ever again.
Oh man, you know what I love about you, and I have to say this on air, and I have to let the people know. The reason why I have such a great friendship with you is because we talk so much shit about everything, from personal experiences to different things, and this is what the podcast should be all about, and this is what life should be all about. You should be able to laugh about your mistakes, especially if they are 15, 16, 17 years behind you, man. And I recently...
This is the first time I've admitted it, so it's... You know, it's finally gotten there.
Breaking news on the podcast. Anthony Floyd Brady peed his pants when he was 14. I actually recently saw a very, very entertaining comedy piece about peeing in your bed. What's the name of the guy with the weird voice?
Donald Trump?
No, Donald Trump. He has a weird voice too. No, man, I can't recall that.
Who also peed his pants when he was 14 and 53.
Most likely, dude. I don't want to get into politics. I know you are not a big fan of politics, but
those are politics.
Pun not intended at all.
Yeah.
What is your
humor?
What is your feeling as an American? I mean, have you come across any judgmental things now ever since Donald Trump is president when people find out you're American?
Listen, I learned that every time I talk politics, I get angry and it causes a negative vibe around me because I do get passionate about something that I know nothing about. So I have no right to even get mad about it. I've learned to set it aside, accept that the thing is what it is, and people just need to let go of it because it's one thing that I know is that politics are fucking rigged. It's a game that we have no option in. We're just pawns. And your vote doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. It doesn't fucking matter. Now listen, vote for small government, vote for your state, your province, whatever, vote for your mayor. That makes a difference. That's stuff that actually affects you. But I mean, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, they're both pieces of shit. Who gives a shit, man? Obama, you know how many people he killed? You know, it doesn't. All these people that we worship as our great leaders, they all have to step on someone's back to climb up over that wall. And
I think we live in a... Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add, man, I think we live in a time where everybody actually realized that all this, he's the president and he's the big one. I think more and more people, and it's the time of realizing of how little we know. You know, it
just proves that it's a game, it's a joke, it doesn't make any sense, and there's nothing we can do. Donald Trump's in office. All right, there you go. It's proof.
Yeah,
it happened.
So this would basically be one of your messages. I mean, what would you pass on to people who struggle with their work at home and have an 8 hours job a day, and they always dreamt of, I want to go abroad, I want to live abroad, I want to work abroad. What is it you would tell them in order to actually make them doing it instead of just sitting there and saying it?
Go fucking do it. Sell everything you have. Sell your kids, man. I'm tired of you moms saying, I've got kids, I can't do it. Sell those kids. They're worth money. All right? Big money. Sell them and travel.
I'm not sure that's a good thing to say as a teacher.
Yeah, no, don't sell your kids. But no, seriously though, like, go find a way to do it. Find a way to go find some place that you've never been to before. Get out of your comfort zone and live the life the way that you're supposed to, not this robotic 9-to-5 bullshit American dream. George Carlin said it the best. The reason they call it the American dream is because you'd have to be asleep to believe it. It's a fucking joke. You don't need to work 8 hours a day. You don't have to do something you don't want to do. Pick it up. Change your shit. Only you can change it. You cannot depend on anybody else. You have to just do it.
Yeah, that's the worst, when people always do the same thing over and over again and then they wonder why nothing changes. But listen to me, instead of complaining on other people or, just stop it and look at yourself. And the most important thing and the best step you can do in order to improve yourself and your life is to actually really try. And I know this sounds like a hippie, maybe because I have my hippie pants on, but you have to really try to see yourself from the outside. Now,
absolutely,
I can understand that there will be a lot of people, especially from my past, man. I was a dick back in the past, and I've not always been that aware of my behavior or how to improve my character. You know how it is, man. You learn along the way.
Me too, man. Me too.
This was really the step that helped me. Is really trying to visualize being outside of your body and looking down on you of the top and realize how you act and how your reactions get translated by other people. Just because you do one thing doesn't mean that it derives the same.
If you want to understand how the people around you feel, try to see how they see you. And if you're doing something wrong, then change it. So act how you would want to be. Look at yourself from outside and see what you're doing, and make sure that that's what you want to be.
Yeah.
And I've constantly had to catch myself. I'm an asshole a lot. I'm a very stubborn person, and I can be a total asshole. But I'm also full of love, and you have to find that in between where you're not giving it all away, but you're also on both ends. You're not giving all of your evil away. You're not giving all your love away. You just have to pick your battles, choose wisely. Try not to make people angry or upset, because that doesn't do anything but make you angry or upset.
Yeah. I totally agree, man. Why do you think is that in general? Why do you think people always look for more reasons not to do the stuff they really want instead of doing it?
Because we've been told the exact opposite of what we should be doing our entire lives. We've been told to get up, go to school, do what you're told, go home, get up, go to school, do what you're told, then go to college, go home, drink a little bit if you're okay, and then study, do a little bit of freaking legal speed from your doctor so you can study, and then after that, go get a job, and then go to work from 8 to 5. Just go work. 2 weeks every year. You can go on a holiday, but don't go too far. You might not come back.
Exactly.
We need your money. We need to buy that iPhone. We need you to buy, you know what I mean? There's so much more out there. I find myself sometimes getting comfortable here in Thailand, and I have to just let it go and go out to some random village and not have a plan. And it's so good to not have a plan, because then you're not worried about your plan.
That is, I see that is very correct, but I also want to go places, and I know in order to go to these places, I need to make a few other things happen now, because that won't be possible when I'm 50. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm not saying to throw your life away and go do a backpack hippie adventure like all these freaking backpackers. No, screw that.
Fuck them.
I'm saying that take the time to do the things that you want to do, because we do only get one life. I don't care if you believe in resurrection or whatever the fuck you believe in. This is the life that you know. This is the life that you're 100% sure of. So this is what you have to do. You cannot worry. I spent 33 years without going on a proper holiday my entire life. Entire life. I've never been to an island. And that's such a big part of America, and it just depresses me. All you have to do is save up a couple $1,000s, which is not hard to do, and go out and see what happens out there. And you literally don't have to have a plan. It will take you in a direction that you will never, ever even be able to understand until you're there.
Exactly.
And it can change your life.
Exactly. You just need to do it, and opportunities will show up. And if you put the work and effort in it, there will be more coming. So you just got to do it, and that's really the point. And to slowly wrap this up, man, because we've been recording for a while, but I got to ask you here, and it's a nice closing of the circle, because we started with music, and now we kind of can end with music as well. Do you think that music has given you that mindset of actually exploring the world, and that there's more out there? Do you think that if it wouldn't be for music, you wouldn't be here today?
If it wasn't for music, I would have killed myself years and years and years ago. It's the only thing I literally connect to. Listen, imagine life without music. Imagine no clapping, no stomping, no birds singing. These are things that are all music, and that we all get from even the basic pluck of a guitar or a touch of a piano. It's for me. It's not for everybody, but I see this in a way that is so important that I think that the world would be chaotic, literally chaotic without it. Music puts people in a place that calms them down. It answers questions they don't even know they wanted to ask. And it's very underrated. Appreciate your musicians, because
that's true, but that's only because people listen too much to that shitty pop music they get feeded instead of doing their own research.
Because they don't want to think. They want to move their butt, and that's what music has become now. Move your butt, shake your tits, go get laid. That's music.
Definitely shake those tits.
Yes, and I'm cool with that. But also
I'm cool with that too, my friend. Trust me.
Exactly. But also sit down and take a hit of acid and listen to Pink Floyd once, and then tell me that wasn't life changing.
Oh yeah, that is probably what Donald Trump should do right now. He should just have a big
my God,
spliff.
if he took a hit of acid, we would be in a different direction within 8 hours.
Yeah, but bro,
positive.
Bro, I'm really sorry. You mentioned it there before. You said people are getting comfortable in their life they're living without keeping exploring. And I have to be honest, man, I'm getting comfortable as well. But I have to move, man. I can start to feel my back. We have been recording for quite a while. It has been a pleasure to talk to you. And
likewise, my friend. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
No, thank you for letting me force you on, because you didn't really have much choice.
Yeah, he just kind of told me I was going on last night, huh?
Yeah, because we kind of made it, we tried to make it happen so many times, and I thought if I ask and ask, it will drag out like your solo album, and I don't want to wait 6 years. So I just kind of wanted to force you on, and I'm really happy I did, because this was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, how different life can be.
And for those of you that don't know, this is literally, take away the microphone, this is how me and Steve would just sit down and talk in the first place.
Yeah, this is a little bit more tits, penis, and fuck in there, but we quite close.
A little less, I think.
Little less. But buddy, I guess I have to let you go, because I want to go too. I need to really take care of my back, put some Tiger Balm on there. I don't know, do you have any tricks or anything against back problems?
Just don't get hooked on pills. Stay away from that shit.
Oh no, don't worry, man. I'm not much for medication anyway.
Word.
So how are we gonna...
That being said, shout out to my band, Eratoca.
Boom.
Go to my website, Facebook, Eratoca, REATACO, and YouTube. Just go check us out. We've got a single. I think Steve's going to play it for us. Yes,
I hope I can make it happen, because we had some audio issues or technical issues before when I tried to connect the Skype link to the OBS, which is responsible for the live stream. I don't guarantee anything. I will try, but in case that doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen, all the links, including the including this released single, Facebook, Instagram, personal Facebook, your English teaching work as well, everything is below in the description here on YouTube. So if you are listening on iTunes or Podbean, where you can download all our episodes for free, audio only, but it's for free, so shut the fuck up. Yeah, you have to switch to YouTube in order to find all the links. Are you on SoundCloud, by the way?
I am. Anthony Brady Music.
Boom. Please send me that link so I can add it in the description. And with that being said, once again, Kopuma Cup, Anthony Floyd Brady. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
My friends. All right. Later, buddy.
See you on Sunday. Whoop, boop, boop. And there he goes. Boom! Damn, I love this guy, man. He is always up for a good chat, and it's always fun to chat with him, because it's always fun to chat with people who kind of have the same experience as you. And this is what I try to bring across in this podcast here with my guests, and the way how I pick my guests are mostly all people who are out and traveling. And let me just click this and click this, and then click the WhatsApp. If I find the WhatsApp, where is the WhatsApp? Transition, image, name, a little bit lower, name, no. I guess we just let the WhatsApp sign be there, or there we go. Boom. Yeah. As I said, always fun to chat to Anthony, and this is what we're trying to do here on the podcast, to inspire other people who are stuck in their work, no matter if you're in Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Sweden, or wherever you are. If you have the feeling that you want to go out and travel the world, but you feel there's so many more things that you need to do before you actually can go out there and travel, here is my message to you. Go fuck yourself. Go just do it. And there is no really any excuse that is valuable, in my opinion, unless somebody is dying. You can drop and change your life immediately from now to tomorrow. All you need is time and will and passion. That's all you need. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to you, my audience, as well, for tuning in. Thank you, Zazitur and Rohingschender, for keeping us company here at the Surrounded by Details podcast in this studio. It's always nice to have somebody here when you have a Skype call, because otherwise it feels so empty. So maybe we make that a thing, or we get a live audience. I don't know what we do. We will see. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to Surrounded by Details podcast on YouTube. You can also find us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, SoundCloud, where you can download all our episodes for free. As I mentioned before, audio only, but it is for free. If you want to find me on Instagram, steve.bonhage, Steve as always without a E, and on Facebook it's Steve Bonhage Photography / Surrounded by Details podcast. Or if all that is too much, do me a favor, go on my website www.stevebonhage.com, and also here as always Steve without a E. So now we get all this done, and now there's only one thing left to do, and I actually figured out how I'm gonna do this, because I'm just gonna go on my messenger here on my iPhone and play the link from there, because we just had Anthony in via Skype over phone, so the audio should work fine if I just play this. So let me find the link, and yeah, this is the first release of the new single. I can't wait for everything to come out, the whole album. Where is it, Anthony? Didn't you send me the link here somewhere? Link. There we go. You Poop. The Coming Winter, ladies and gentlemen, by Eratoca. And we need to play that. Can you just go, please close that off, so we have the right link here. All this audio stuff, I'm learning, it's complicated. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Eratoca, The Coming Winter, Anthony Floyd Brady, we just had him on the podcast. Enjoy the music, check out his stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to him and to our podcast, and to download all his other stuff. Great music. That's it for me. My name is Stevo. I am out. See ya!